I'm Poppy Kavanagh.
I'm Logan Burrell.
I'm Gracie Wynn.
We're here at the Boston Blackfriars Theatre today for the South and East Lincolnshire Cultural Conference 2024.
Make sure to check the Paradigm Arts Facebook page
And the youngjournalist.com website
to check out all the people that we'll be interviewing today and keep updated on what comes out of our conference today. Hello, I'm here with our first guest, Lydia Rustling, and I'm here to ask her a few questions. So, Lydia, why are you here today, and what was the most important things that you wanted to mention in your talk earlier?
So it was our idea to put on a cultural conference for our area. So I work for 3 councils, which are East Lindsey, Boston and South Holland. They are 3 councils to the east and south of Lincolnshire, and we form a South and East Lincolnshire Council partnership. So our ethos is working collaboratively, and we've also been successful in securing funding from Arts Council England to have a programme of art and cultural activity across our area. And it's been a really steep learning curve for us. So as a team, we've had to get to grips with how Arts Council funding works. But we're really committed to having that investment in our area. So we wanted to bring everybody together. So that was the purpose of the conference. So it's our first one. And what we want it to be is not just people sitting and listening. We want people to engage with us and tell us what they need, what support they need, or what their ideas are for the future. Because what we really want to achieve collectively is a really vibrant place that people of all ages enjoy visiting or even living in.
This is Jocelyn, here today at the Blackfriars Arts Centre. So Jocelyn, we watched your talk earlier about what you're doing here for young people. Why is that important to you? What brought you here as a volunteer?
I was asked actually to come here as a volunteer. I moved up here from Dorking in Surrey. I came to secondary school in Boston many moons ago, and then went to university and settled in the southeast. And I'm an artist by profession and an illustrator, and I work in a little studio with all sorts of clients. And I got involved with a different project in Boston and was asked if I would come onto the board because they're always looking for new members. So I came in, and I've got 3 kids. And it became quite apparent to me that there was a huge opportunity and in fact a need in Boston for children to have access to the same sort of opportunities to learn in a theatre space and with the arts as they do in other places that are better connected. And we're a low-wage economy as well, so money is a big barrier for people. They don't want to be spending £100 on a train ticket before they've even bought a ticket to go to a city theatre. So we applied for Arts Council funding. But there's more to it than that, because it's not just about their education and those kids seeing Macbeth, which is really important if you want to actually understand Macbeth. It's also about this community, because this town has the most extraordinary history that a lot of people who live here don't even know about. It has more history in its little finger than most places.
I am here with Richard Knight, an independent artist and filmmaker. So, Richard, what has brought you to this event, and what have you learnt while being here?
Well, I've recently been invited to events like this because last year I did an event called Chippy Tea, and I brought together people from diverse backgrounds to have bags of chips and to talk about their experiences living in Lincolnshire as outsiders or potential outsiders. So there was a Palestinian woman, a Jamaican woman, a Latvian woman, someone who was autistic, and a 16-year-old schoolgirl. And so we did a kind of Last Supper at the hub with a table and candles and stuff. And everyone spoke, and actually then the audience really responded and wanted to tell their stories.
That's really interesting, because a lot of the people that we see here are mostly just like older white men in terms of like the art groups that are around here. So that's really interesting and really like
Thank you,
you've done.
thank you. Well, it came out of a talk I was having at the Hub with some people about the audience there, saying it was white, middle class, and we needed much more diversity, and how would we reach those people? And my first proposal was to have chips in a car park, and because I figured we'd never get young people into an institution they don't want to go into, and we could all just mill around. But actually, health and safety and all that stuff, it was better to do it in the Hub.
Yeah, brilliant. Hi, I'm here with Nick Jones as a part of Transported. So, Nick, what have you found out from today, and how have you found the day?
I think the day has been really, really exciting. I've found out that lots of other people and organisations, artists, recognise that we're at a point of significant change for the culture of Boston, South Holland, East Lincolnshire, and that is that after decades of underinvestment and I suppose a culture where things are seen as being really difficult, that there is now an appetite and a determination to actually invest more in making making more of the culture, if you like, in the area.
So, what has brought you guys up here from London to Boston?
Okay, so yeah, we've been working with the local council and with Boston College to produce a light festival which has been called Boston Brilliance. And this will be taking place in February next year, the 14th and 15th of February. So we're going to be illuminating and projecting onto around 9 buildings around the centre of Boston. So creating a large-scale illuminated light trail for people to come out and see. We'll be having international artists, but we'll also be working with local artists to create work, which will be, as I say, beamed onto buildings across the centre of Boston.
Yeah, fantastic! In such an area with typically not as many events, it's very important for that sort of thing to be around. So I'm here with Johnny at Mantra Media. So Johnny, what has brought you to this conference, and what are you doing here with your stand?
That's a great question, Poppy. So it's a pleasure to be here in Boston today. We're working with Blackfriars. We're going to be doing their rebrand. We're doing their communication strategy. And we're going to be working, hopefully, broader within the city to help it appeal to an international basis. So we're looking at North America. We're looking at the investment opportunities for people to really put Boston back on the map. There's so much culture here, and so much to celebrate from a heritage perspective. And we just want to be part of that journey and make sure that people start to recognise that there is a lot of beauty here. There's a lot of heritage that needs to be celebrated, and we're here to solve that problem.
So, has anything stood out to you in particular from any of the talks or the questions that have been answered?
I think it's the. I do appreciate the fact that there is so much going on, and that it is interesting stuff that is going on. It sounds really bad, but I mean it's and it's stuff that's coming from within Lincolnshire. So especially. I was really kind of struck with the tourism strategy, because again it's that whole thing of arts and culture and heritage has not really been, for me, I've not really observed that as a massive part of the message about tourism in Lincolnshire. But it's great to see it. It's such a change from over the last 10 years. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. So you said over the last 10 years, what did things used to be like? Were they very different?
I think it was just very difficult to see a lot happening, a lot going on. There was the So Festival. There were some small events in Boston. It was very disparate, and I think I do come from a background where I've always sort of been interested in the arts and culture. So I'd if I was going to go somewhere to see something, I'd go to London or I'd go to Nottingham. So now I'm starting to feel like I will have to be looking more within Lincolnshire to see what I can connect to. And also it's very weird, when you're a writer anyway, you're sort of isolated in your work, and now I don't feel so isolated. I feel like there are people that I can actually connect with.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and that's changed a lot in the last 10 years.
That's sort of what today's been about, seeing the other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in these more regional areas.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for talking to us.
So, thank you. It's been lovely to talk to you.